सबको नमस्कार. मैं हूं डॉक्टर महेश, Joint Commissioner and Director of CEAH. As usual, we are coming out with exciting episodes every time. This episode is now number 36. Let me create a little curiosity for you. You all must be knowing Orissa changed into Odisha. It's a state where Bolangir district, you must have heard in the news channels for challenging issues like hunger death, very difficult, very not optimistic area at all. From that area, I brought a great gentleman who flew all the way from Bhubaneswar to Bangalore and reached our campus. And he's none other than Samarendra Mishra, who is a graduate of Masters in Business from Europe and now chosen that area as a challenging area, becoming a opportunity. So now, recently you would have heard in the newspapers and postings that Odisha to Austria. So what is the history of it? What is entrepreneurship? An entrepreneur has exported egg powder to Austria. Can you imagine all this? So this is the background. Without ado now, I welcome my good friend Samarendra Mishra for this podcast. Welcome, Samarendra.
Thank you.
Good to go. Now, I just want to understand for the audience, what is your background? I just put little accolades for you that people want to understand, because it's not all rosy to come to this place. So people want to understand where you started and how you are at this juncture.
My background is not a business family background. In my family, everybody were professionals. My father and my uncles, and business was not something that people were looking up to, especially in my region, my area. So for us, the way forward was to get a job and get going. But it was my brother actually who started this farm, and when he was experimenting initially, and when he started, then he invited me to join the business, and that is how I got into this business.
What was your basic education? Where did you got educated?
I did my graduation, schooling, everything at Bolangir itself. That's our native.
You got it educated there only, okay.
And subsequently, I went on to do my MBA from UK.
Okay. So that's how interestingly you went. I heard that you went to the corporate world of Colgate, Palmolive, etc. in Delhi,
Yes.
and that experience of business also you were in touch with it. Then how did your brother choose poultry? Because now you said you joined your brother's business. So what made your brother to choose poultry?
So he has very interesting stories to tell because he was experimenting with many things. He tried his luck with goat farming. He did some backyard farming with indigenous breed called Colingo Brown, which I think is still around. And he kind of figured out that this is a big industry, promising industry, which is yet to be tapped. There is big potential there, but not many are looking at it that way. So that is how he got into it.
Very good. But why specifically for table eggs? Why not broiler breeding farm? Why not broilers? So what made you to zero into only consumption eggs? Because table eggs, audience may not understand. We call table eggs poultry very commonly, but eggs for consumption. That's white eggs. People eat it for omelette, etc. So why is that the interest driven?
To be very honest, when I joined the farm business, that was the first farm I ever saw. I had never imagined where the eggs come from.
Okay.
I had no idea that poultry industry is segregated into breeder, broiler, and layers. So for me, there was very little knowledge. And I think for my brother to get into egg part of the business, it was because it was a little more organized than the broilers that you were looking at those days. And this integration and all hadn't come up in that big a way. So most likely it was the more organized nature of the business. And contrary to what a lot of startup ecosystem founders would talk about, that they were like they got into the business, they have interesting stories to tell. I think for us, it was very basic. We wanted to solve our own problem
Okay.
of earning some money and doing something, some your own business. Later on, only after we got into it, we realized that there's a lot of potential in this business. and there is something that can be done if you do it right here.
It's a good way. So now let me understand, how did it start from the small venture to naming it as OVO Farm? What is the history behind it, and what was your experience of steps of failure, steps of success, and when did you taste success? The whole legacy you can bring over.
OVO is Latin for egg. It's not that popular in India, but in Europe and everywhere, a lot of poultry companies are known as OVO.
Oh, okay.
But we were not aware of those big companies and the organizations. But we named it because we figured out that it goes with egg. And from the beginning, we decided that we will only be in eggs. And that's what we are doing. We are totally egg focused company. All our business is centered around egg only. And our journey, I would divide it into 3 stages. First is the learning phase, when we were trying to stand up, run a successful business. And that was from 2002 when it was founded until 2010. In 2010, we put our first EC house, the automatic house. And then we continued with the changes, like we converted all our old houses into EC houses. Then we put new farms, totally greenfield. Then from 2020 onwards, it was the part when we got into branded segment, branding and value addition, and it is still continuing.
Well, you said about failures, in the sense first project when you said about EC house all burnt out. I just want to know about the difficulties how you faced and what made you to move on. Can you explain on that?
So even when we were very small, we always wanted to do it in a way that the world is doing it. And we always thought, like, why our farms are not as organized, as not as good looking as what we see in the pictures. Not that I had seen anything abroad, but I would subscribe to those poultry magazines, and I would see those advertisement of those equipment manufacturers, and would always want to have something like that.
Like that.
And we were approaching the equipment manufacturers, but none of them were even willing to talk to us.
Okay.
So there were two reasons. One is we were too small. They never thought we could do something like this. Second is, around that time, all those efforts at putting up automatic easy houses were not working out. Many of them were big failures. And we have heard stories about how some projects in south of India failed miserably. But we went ahead, put up this new first house, but the first house itself was a disaster. When we had a power outage and uh, we had heavy casualty, almost 100%, I would say.
Oh my God.
But with that event, we got to think that you can't just put equipments by spending money. There's a lot more to it. A normal farm venture and running it in a fully automatic mode is very different. You have to invest in people, train them, understand, create processes and systems. So our focus shifted from merely buying a equipment to learn how to run the equipment, train our people. But we did not stop at that. We continued changing, and till now it continues.
Fantastic. You must have had a lot of group discussion in the family to develop that courage. Otherwise, generally, एक बार हार गए तो आगे बढ़ने के लिए लोग नहीं सोचता है. So moving on. So now let us understand what are the entire value chain you're operating from, like, production to export. How big is your farm? How do you do brooding growing? What are the capacities? So how you handle egg distribution, the whole of it in a nutshell. Later we can insert pictures for the information what you're giving. So can you explain to the audience?
So we call ourselves All Thing Egg Company because we control the entire value chain. We have our captive feed mills. We produce the feed. We raise chicks, the rearing operations, where we are in full control of what vaccinations are to be given.
What is your batch size now?
So we have different batch sizes. Our smallest is 30,000. But the new upcoming one we are having would be more than 1.5 lakh
On batch.
chicks.
Total capacity of the birds now as OVO farm?
Now it is 1 million. We are adding another half million.
Okay, 1 million is 10 lakhs and you want to go for 15 lakhs.
Yes.
Okay, please continue.
So we own the entire value chain. We have captive feed production, vaccine, rearing. Then once we have the production, our idea is to have the control over the supply chain as well. So we have our distribution channels, company outlets. We have diversified the business. We don't rely on trade, which is a major challenge for many farmers. So the focus is on value addition. The focus is more on value than volume. We don't want to be very big and go for distress sales. We want to, whatever we produce, we want high value output, and we want to sell it for a premium.
About exports, I'll come a little later. I want to understand, let's say you are producing on an average now 8 lakh eggs a day.
Yes.
So how is the contribution here is how much it goes to wholesale, retail, you have branded the product, what is the percentage?
So branded since 2020, and after this COVID has took off like anything. And with quick commerce, it is even faster. You can reach markets, you can get into places which you would never have imagined.
Yeah.
So the growth is mostly from there. And now, if you look at our total share, I think very little goes to the trade. In the open market, we must be selling like 10-15% or even less.
That's it.
After processing, we don't sell it to trade anymore.
Yeah, you will going for a
Yes.
product into processed.
So the model is built in a way that we would never have to depend on trade. Even if let's say there is no sales, we can still process it, store it. Yes.
Like the model of the milk. You can say the model of the milk. Milk is being produced into value added powder, etc. So how do you, I would say that now you are operating B2B from Bolangir to Bhubaneswar. So your major sales is Bhubaneswar, or what are the other cities you are doing it?
We are now present in around 35 cities.
India.
Yes.
But which is the major city?
So we have a very strong presence in West Bengal. We are present in Assam. We are all the way up to UP, and also we have just entered Delhi.
Oh, fantastic! So when are you coming to another B, Bangalore? any
Very soon. Yeah. So our idea is to go pan India.
Okay.
But the difference is that we want to sell our own eggs.
Okay.
So
not buying eggs and
we don't want to be. That is how we.
I saw that. You are not aggregators. You are farmers.
Yes.
You mentioned in your tagline, we are farmers. We are not aggregators. A good wording.
So globally, if you look at the industry, the major brands globally are owned by farms, because this is very different from a dairy sector or even a meat sector.
Yeah.
Where having ownership of the supply chain is the most critical part.
Good point.
We want to have full control over the quality. So that is possible only when you are producing it.
Good to know. Now coming in, we always now say that tech is driving our sector, technology. So technology in the sense in your farm, can you explain what are the automation processes you've adapted in feed milling, feed distribution, egg collection, egg packing? Can you explain in detail about automation systems which you adapted?
Speaking of technology and automation, I must admit that our industry has been a laggard. If you look at other industry sectors, the way they have adopted technology and implemented everything, poultry sector as such has been a laggard. But lately we see that there's a lot of changes
coming up.
So we have automatic feed plants, automatic weighing of medicines, everything. So there is no human error. Then entire feeding environment control, everything is computer controlled. You can run it from anywhere with your phone. You can monitor also from your phone. In addition to that, we also have some pilot projects running where we are continuously monitoring the pathogen load in our houses with AI.
Interesting.
So, with frequency, we collect the swab samples, put it in the send it to the lab, and it goes through a algo, and it can can predict.
It's a predictive modeling.
Yes.
How is your handling eggs? What are the quality checks you do in the collection of systems? What are the systems?
So we have automatic graders.
Okay. So eggs are automatically collected from the farm. Okay, let me come from farm to the grading.
Right.
For every day, for example, let's say for the audience visualization, you run a farm. Let's say biggest farm sizes maybe around 5 lakh, one place.
Yes.
So that every day almost like 4 lakh eggs are coming.
Yeah.
How these eggs are coming? Like a belt system you must have put that will come to the collection point. From that collection point, you will go for auto grading, right?
Yes.
So you can explain a little bit.
So we used to have inline grading itself in the biggest farm, the 500,000 farm. So the eggs would come from the house, go on a conveyor, and get directly to the grader. But now with increased capacity, we have recently come up with, we have put up, I think it would be one of the largest fulfillment centers in the country for eggs.
Very good.
It is spread on nearly 40,000 square feet. And we have all the graders there. So eggs from all the farms are brought in there, and they are graded by weight, by the dirt, crag, whatever quality measures we take, and then it is packed and shipped.
Very good. So moving on, I just want to understand, in India right now, we are asking export focused compartment certification. So I differ. I have many farms. I said, why can't you think only for Indian consumption compartment is also good? Compartment wording, why model, they get confused that sir only export ke liye karna hai. Even though it is focused in that way, now presently, Samarendra, we have around 51 compartment certified farms in India, including breeding farms, etc. The other day, Secretary Sir said, why can't we have like Thailand has 351. Now the target for the next year is 100 certified compartment farms in India for us. Since you are the very, very beginning, you established compartment certification. Can you explain what are the benefits? There's an initiative from Government of India wherein you can easily get labeled as compartment AI disease certified farm. AI in the sense artificial avian influenza. Many people will think that artificial insemination, even influenza free farm. Can you explain more on your experience? How did you create a compartment free farm?
So first, I would really appreciate the authorities' initiative to have more compartments.
Yeah.
That is definitely a step in the right direction. And when the department itself is pushing for it, it is really appreciative. And industry should come forward, and all the farms should try and get it done. So for me, if you talk about any certification, it's not just about a certificate in place, but to have the best practices.
Yeah, that's important.
To adapt what it takes to get certified. Once you do that, so your biosecurity measures, everything that you have to do to get the certificate, and if you practice it for real, it will have immense benefit. I can tell you from my own experience, there have been disease outbreaks all around us, but we haven't seen any major disease outbreak in the last 3 years, even once in our farms.
See, that proves that your methods, process are in place. How is your experience of compartment? State government's experience, and then is it very difficult to become a compartment? Because I know it, but from your mouth, I want to listen. How you want to give a message to the people that
I think if you want to do it, nothing is difficult, but it has to be in practice. So I have seen a lot of organizations having certificates, but it is for the sake of it. But that is not going to work, or it is not going to help in any way. Anyone who is thinking of going for those certifications should practice it.
Yeah.
That is where the real benefit is.
Correct. So now I'll want to come to economics, because many of the audience will be thinking, you must be having a lot of money, that's why you invested it like that. So what is the estimate of per bird you want to say? Or suppose I want to set up a EC house of environmentally controlled plus automated. investment per bird for 1 lakh layers. What's your estimate right now? And how much did you invest?
I think for 1 lakh, the investment required would be somewhere around 10 crores.
1,000 rupees. Easy house will be ready.
I think so, with the best of equipments and
What was your investment totally for the project? Any idea?
I think it would be somewhere around 800 per bird
Okay.
to 900.
So,
But now, because we are buying imported machinery and the exchange rates have gone up, the price would be little higher.
so all in all, if I assume right, around 15 million multiplied by if you put
It would be more or
1,000
less like that.
or 150 crores
Yes.
investment has gone in. Good. So now let me come to retailing and branding. So what was the clue you got it to brand it the way you branded it? I don't want to reveal the brand name. You can tell. So what was the idea and how did you float that conceptualization, visualization of the brand, and what was the idea on that?
So our belief is that farmers world over, if you look at them, their earnings and incomes are limited. Unless we are going forward with value addition, we are not going to earn much. Most of the money goes to the trade, and we are always price takers. So if you want to dictate or have a price of your product, you need to come up with a brand.
Good idea.
That is as simple as that.
Yeah, simple.
But it's never easy. That's why not everybody is having it. But it's always worth a try. But the idea can be very different. You can be a city-centric brand. You can be a regional operator, or you can have a national or global aspiration. How you want to position yourself and where you want to be is something that clarity one should have. But it can also be like you start with a city and it is very successful and you go on expanding. That is also how it works. But from the beginning, our idea was that we want to make it a pan-India brand, but we don't want to run in a breakneck speed where we cannot meet the quality commitments that we are making. So we are moving slowly, but we expect to be pan-India by next year itself.
What is the brand name and how did you name it?
So our flagship brand is Kenko. Kenko is good health in Japanese.
Oh, that's why I wanted to know that. Kenko is good health.
Kenko is a Japanese name. It's good health in Japan. But why Japanese, if you ask me? Because Japan has one of the highest per capita consumption of eggs.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go to in Japan, you will find egg like water.
Okay.
Even in the restaurant table, they would have a basket of eggs. Okay. And they eat raw eggs.
Oh.
Because the quality is so good. They also eat raw eggs. So that's our inspiration.
Interesting. That is a pan-India brand. Did you have another associated brands with that? Only one brand?
So we have a regional brand called Ande.
Ande. That is for the regional area.
Yes. That is more or less a white level product.
Now coming into the most popular thing for the last almost 15 days, everybody is talking is Odisha reaching Austria. So can you explain that? What made you to think of egg exports, egg powder exports? Do you export eggs also or only egg powder?
We used to export eggs,
Okay.
but now we are focusing more on powder because this is further value addition.
Okay.
And we are looking at global market for that. We got a lot of support from Export Council of India, and all those institutions, they have helped in getting these exports possible. Now we are exporting to Europe, Latin America, and also Asia, Southeast Asia.
What are the cost realization? How much is profitability there versus vis-a-vis India?
I think when you export egg powder, there's a lot of complexity in that. You have exchange fluctuations, you have global prices, which is governed by US egg price. But the value addition would be somewhere around at least 20% above eggs.
Above the eggs.
So far,
what are the international rates now for the yolk powder, albumin powder, and
it varies from market to market. think the American egg powder prices would be somewhere around $8.
$8. Because we have good experience of, same name, OVO Bell.
Yes.
Vobel is our good friend who established long back. Agarwal started. Then I had Satish Babu for a podcast here. So he's doing almost like 1 million eggs being broken every day into egg powder. So my trend of understanding earlier was always, yolk powder was under low rate, albumin was high rate. But now he corrected me, "Sir, wo badal gaya. Abhi things are different. Even yolk powder is getting a more
Yes.
rate, and then whole egg powder is also getting more attraction." So how do you, Samarendra, visualize? I have a dream. It is out of the box. Suddenly I got it because when I was doing my MBA from IIM Bangalore, I did a survey in Bangalore. I asked these all, people of Tamil Nadu and other states who come for construction working here. I asked them, in the evening, you're ready to spend more money, 100 rupees, 200 rupees for other things. I don't want to name it. But why can't you buy eggs? Then they gave me a very good example. Sir, मैं मेरा जो लुंगी में जो मैं शर्ट में ट्राउजर्स में रखने से अंडा टूट जाएगा. Anda will go off. That's why he is not interested in not buying. He is interested to buy, but he's not able to carry them. Literally, we remember our childhood also. I used to carry eggs in cycle, and दो अंडा फूटने से माँ गाली नहीं देता था, ओपन करके आमलेट बनाता था. So my dream for the challenge for you is, can we imagine something like a sachet in India, especially if I'm thinking right, two eggs in one pouch, can we give a 10 rupees? That is egg liquid or egg powder. Egg powder, I'm not pushing so much. The reason is we are not adapted to using egg powder like a Horlicks or a Complan, but we are adapted to see the liquid and imagine that one sachet I develop, maybe 10, 20 rupees also. Let us say, I will leave it to you for that challenge to be accepted. So that is a dream. So that all, bottom of the pyramid people can carry a sachet of two eggs like a shampoo.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is what my dream. Can you explain on that?
That is a challenge for the industry,
Yeah,
and I hope I expect it to happen
yeah,
very soon, not very far,
yeah,
because I think food technology globally is changing in ways that nobody can imagine. And the challenge here for if you are talking about liquid egg is because of the temperature.
yeah.
Because once it is broken, and even though what we produce is pasteurized, it still has a short shelf life, and it has to be in chilled temperatures. That problem is not there with powder. So I'm sure something or other will
Something
come.
you should do it because Eskim tried it. Retard packing, even on the shelf temperature they can read, but they have a huge volume, 100 ml, 200 ml, half liter, 200 liters like that. But my vision is, we should have that because every day we are almost now consuming 30 crore eggs in India. 30 crore is the latest production numbers. And Bangalore consumes a lot. Almost Bangalore per capita consumption is 290 to 300 eggs in Bangalore. And my own consumption, I'll tell you, सुबह 2 अंडा, शाम को 2 अंडा, हफ्ते में 3 बार मुर्गी, फिर भी मिलेगा 50% protein. That is another message for the audience. People have forgotten to eat protein. Suppose if your height is 165 centimeter, minus 100 is your requirement of protein. 65 gram every day one has to consume. If your height is 170, 70 grams.
Okay,
Simple,
I didn't know that.
simple formula.
I always thought it was 1 gram per kg.
That is okay. That comes to that only.
All right.
But it is easy to remember.
Yes.
Suppose the height minus 100 is the requirement per day. And मैं बताया ना अभी मैं 2 अंडा सुबह खाता हूँ, शाम को 2 और आफ्टरनून में 2 खाता हूँ, फिर भी मेरा 50% प्रोटीन ही मिल रहा है. So this is a great idea that once the availability and affordability increases, it will be very great. So good that we had this discussion on that. Now I come to that, you run your unit. I have seen in your brochure and interaction of more than 10 years now.
Yes.
We know each other from more than 10 years. You run like a family of entire community. So what is the secret of that statement? We are farmers, not aggregators. So can you explain your team, your members from top to the bottom who are all involved?
So the way we run our business is like a very close-knit cohesive unit. That's how any farming activity works. And that's also a thing with poultry farming. What I have realized in all these years that I have spent, that is probably one of the reasons why you don't have a lot many corporates in this sector, because s- we hand over the houses to our people who run it like they own those houses, and without that passion and involvement, nothing good will happen.
That's right.
And to get their buy-in, to get them on board to do that, they have to be really motivated. So our way of farming, and we are hands on in the farming activity also. I have myself fed chickens. I know everything in and out. My brother looks after the farms, and he is a farmer himself, so that always helps.
How many employees in your team now, totally?
We have around 250 employees.
How many units you operate? Only one unit, or
We have 3 farms,
Mhm.
one centralized feed mill, one now centralized fulfillment center for eggs, and the egg processing is another unit.
How Samarendra spends a day? Can we have a look of your day? So from day in the morning till evening, how do you engage yourself?
Morning always starts with the coffee and newspaper,
Okay.
followed by the daily roundup, whatever is scheduled for the day. And I spend mostly reviewing all the departments, who is doing what and all.
You put all MIS systems in place.
Yes, everything in place.
So whole day stretches up to, how do you relax?
For farm there is no holiday, by the way.
That's right. I want to
So
tell
if
that.
you run a farm, you don't have weekend, like 5-day weekend all.
Okay.
So we work all days a week,
Okay.
and we also work on Diwali, Holi, and Christmas, because we cannot shut down the farms.
Yeah.
So we are used to going to farm every day.
Fantastic. So okay. Now let me come to other idea. If you know, I saw in your brochure, you're doing a lot of CSR activities around that Bollinger. I started the statement like challenging district. You changed it as an opportunity district. So can you explain what are the CSR activities towards the SDG Sustainable Development Goals?
So as an organization, we think that every organization owes it to the society. And since we are into food, our focus is nutrition, hunger, poverty elevation, because we come from one of the places which is rather infamous for migrant labor. So we contribute to our locality, all the neighboring villages of our farms. We provide free food. We are providing around 20,000 meals a year
Very good.
to anyone who wants it. Then, as a community service, we are also, so you have the FIFA World Cup going on,
Yeah.
and you don't have world champions overnight.
Yeah.
You have to invest in small children, and so we are supporting an initiative called Football for All,
Very nice.
and where underprivileged children are coached and trained for football. So we are their nutrition partners. We support them, and to promote circular economy, we provide free manure to all the farmers around our farms. When we started, people were not very familiar with poultry manure, but now people have adopted it, and we are providing free manure to farmers around our farms.
Very good. So great idea, no? Football for all. In this World Cup, you saw Cape Verde. There's
Yes.
great goalkeeper Benzua. He become like one day 15 million to almost like 1.5 crore followers for him. So such is the opportunity lies. Now, as you said, nurturing can take anybody anywhere. Very good, Samarendra. Now, can you give a management plans handling large scale operations in Orissa? Suppose many people are there. How do you want to give? What are the management plan if you want to become a large scale operators, like the way you saw in an opportunity in Odisha?
So I would say, in order to grow big, workflow automations, delegation, and ownership is very important. In entrepreneurship, as I understand, being owner managers, we don't want to let go of anything.
Yeah.
You are handling something and you think nobody else can do it better than you.
That's right.
But that is until you are small, you can manage it all by yourself. But in order to grow big, you have to delegate it and make sure that they are trained and they own it.
Right people in right time.
Absolutely.
Very good. So now, almost we are coming to the conclusion. So, what are your future thoughts on the group? How do you want to envisage the growth of retail, wholesale versus egg powder division? Where you want to focus more in the future?
We want to proceed further on the value chain. I think the ultimate is when you are able to come up with products, and our focus is more on the value addition side rather than having large volumes and numbers.
So now, as we were discussing, there is a concept now in India right now, mission protein for life. We are running on that concept because protein has to be incorporated in our diet. We have forgotten. So how do you convince, for example, the Mr. Rachan and then Mr. Nitin, who doesn't consume, let us say, the eggs? How do you want to convince them to consume eggs?
I think because of the socio-cultural influence that we have in India, poultry and especially eggs have the highest promise. We are definitely protein deficient society, but if you compare other protein sources, eggs is the cheapest source of protein. It's a complete protein, and socially also it is more acceptable than meat or anything else. So that is how eggs hold a lot of promise, and all producers need to step up, come forward to ensure that there is trust and transparency in the way we bring eggs to the market, so that the consumption is also higher with that.
I will add to that, Samarendraji, because many people feel that milk is only considered as sacred and it's the only natural secretion. But as many people doesn't know that, in your layer farm there are no male birds.
Yes.
Many people think that for egg to be produced, you require a male, you require a female, they should mate, then only the egg will come. Then I'll tell them, many people in for the audience also, that it is like general maturity. Once the female matures, it starts secreting the egg. It's a pure secretion. That's why I always say that even Gandhiji said, milk is a secretion of the cow, egg is a secretion of the hen. So that is one of the propaganda you should push it
Of
to
course.
the consumer to make them understand it is as vegetarian as milk.
If you have no problem with milk, you shouldn't have any problem.
Now
with
the
eggs.
problem is the eggs. The other criteria we probably would have to take from this conversation is, I saw in last 3-4 months, every chocolate, every milk, everybody is putting how much protein in the bracket. For example, I saw other day that 10-gram bar, 20-gram bar, 50-gram bar. This poor fellow giving 6 gram, he never claimed that I'm giving you 6 gram. So what we have to inculcate in everybody's mind is, paying for a 10-gram bar, the guy is watching, they're paying 50 rupees, 10-gram protein. But poor fellow, 6-gram protein, you're paying very less. Eggs is almost giving you 6-gram protein. And that is again another platform where you should push it.
So we are promoting. We have a SKU called Kenko Max,
Okay?
where protein is focused, and we also put the protein content that you get. The idea is with bigger eggs, simply you go for bigger eggs and you get more protein.
That's what protein has to be another, the positioning in the market, where when you go to the retailers, because people doesn't know about egg, milk, meat, they just want protein. So on the top of the mind, I remember now 10-gram choco bar, 10-gram some bar. But
Absolutely.
I want people to remember 6-gram or 7-gram anda. Anda means 6 gram. वो मन में ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं. So thank you so much. We are coming to the last part of it. So can you explain for the entrepreneurs who are watching across India and the globe, that what are the message I need to have when I want to become an entrepreneur? You've grown too big, but how to grow it? Before that, I want to understand what is your turnover now, and as of this year, where did you touch from 2000 to 2026 now? Almost 25, 26 years of experience. So how do you rate it now? From where to where you reached?
We started with almost zero. There's nothing in it. But as we go move forward, we are looking at possible. There are a lot of investor interest. There's a lot of talk about going public and all. So because of the protein frenzy of the market and all, there's a lot of focus on the protein sector, and a lot of investment is also getting into the sector. Coming back to your previous question, when you have more investments getting into this sector, I think it's not far that egg will also start featuring in those protein stories.
Very good.
And because you need a lot of investment, lot of push from the sector. Up until now, most of the businesses were bootstrapped. Now, with more money funding coming in, I see this going way
Arun.
much further. For our business, we are looking at crossing 500 crore in the next 2 years,
Fantastic.
and the industry itself is also growing at a very fast rate.
So, what is the message?
My message to the entrepreneurs is that if you keep doing what you are doing, you keep getting what you are getting. So we need to step out of our comfort zone and figure out if we really want to do something. We have to take challenges and be consistent with what we are doing. That will definitely yield results.
Thank you very much. You heard the story of Samarendra Mishra coming from a challenging district, Bolangir, Odisha, all the way to CEAH Academy, a sprawling campus here. He enjoyed it touring our campus. This is an inspiration for everybody who is watching it. So, how from the scratch they built up a company of 500 crores. Maybe it's a brand of India in the future, spreading across the Europe, Latin America, Middle East, Southeast Asia, etc. We will meet in the next episode. Sabko namaskar. Thank you so much.